Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name is Preston, and I'm here with Sam. Say hello.
He absolutely forgot my name. Clip that. It's Monday. It's Meta Monday.
It's early on a Monday.
Oh no.
Forgive me, internet. It's Meta Monday. We're looking at Tokyo Prelim Take Two that happened over the weekend. We had a Law versus Zorro finale, which is super great for red players, um, with an ultimate ending of Zorro winning another big tournament. So,
I'm shocked. I thought it was really trending in the direction that Whitebeard was going to be the superior solo red deck, but here we are
mhm.
with Zoro still topping. Crazy.
Yeah, at a pretty decent number too. I think it was seven Zoros that topped, and there was only three uh, three Whitebeards.
I had that. The numbers, here we go.
There it
Yeah,
is.
there we go. 12 Kins. It was 7 Zoros. This is 5
Mm-hmm.
Laws, 3 Whitebeards, 2 Ivanks.
Mm-hmm.
This is 1 Zed. Shout out Zed. And then
Yeah,
this
he
is
did well.
1 Kid, 1 Kaido. They're still hanging around here at the
They're
bottom of
still
the.
hanging around, yeah. And we'll link all of the matches from the live stream in the description. Check out the Zed match. They usually put chapter titles so you can skip to the matches. Check out the Zed match. That player was really good. I think they ended up top four. I was hoping for a
Decklist.
Zed Law matchup or something, so we'd have another four life winner. But maybe next time.
Maybe next time. If we find that Zed deck, you best believe it will be in a Meta Monday video soon. I'm
Absolutely.
excited. Let's get right into the decks, though. We're going to look at the run-up first, which is going to be the Law. We did cover a Law just a
Last week.
week ago in a big tournament. It won the big tournament, so it's here again. I think it's proving that Law is a mid-set beast. Once the meta has developed and, they've seen what the land looks like, Law really comes in and just starts to slowly take over. And as a 4-life leader in a very aggressive meta, that's so impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And performing really well in this tournament, especially after the last one, having five tops in
Mm-hmm.
this tournament. But this deck is slightly different than our winner from last week. And the notable difference is the 3-drop 5k Zorro from the Straw Hat starter deck. Um, I think this card caught a lot of people off guard, even in the matches when it got searched out with Nami or Bonnie. Um,
Hmm.
the opponent kind of had a curious, like, which Zorro is that? Um, because it's so underplayed in comparison to the Rush Zorro. So this Zorro, when one Adon is attached, he gains an additional 1k for that one Don, so he becomes a 7k attacker and a 6k defender when your turn ends.
Yeah, that is the huge reason he's here. We're defending a separate threshold here, and I'm pretty sure it's the Whitebeard threshold. Whitebeard was the one deck I think Law was really teching for. It was the one deck that I think it's would still struggle with. So I think we were here with the 6K defender, so Whitebeard would have to either expend more resources to kill because it's no longer killable with Otama Vista, right? So that's only a 5k threshold. So you have to commit a Whitebeard attack into it, which is exactly, I think, what the Law deck would want, to draw focus from itself, from its own face. Same thing with the Film Zoro, 6k threshold. The Law as well, 6k thresholds. I think that's the threshold we are looking to beat. And everything else in the deck is, I think, exactly the same. This core of Dodon, Nami, Bonnie has proven just to really keep Law up to speed, and yeah, kudos. I really like this this Zoro tech. I think it's a great counter. I do think you sacrifice speed because I think this was Rush Zoro last time, so I think we are lacking speed. So I think this also could be a player playstyle switch as well.
It was definitely a playstyle switch, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just based off of watching matches, I think the player wanted to come in with something slightly different. They liked going green Zoro into red Zoro off of the leader effect, get, establishing that presence. And this deck, even when it looks like it's down, has so many low drops that you can refill your board and still have enough to do everything you want. I do still think it takes a good pilot to know when to shambles, to use that leader effect, and which card you put out, I think is still very important. So you have to know this deck to play it, and putting something out at the wrong time could be detrimental. So if you're going to play a law deck, get a lot of test hands in so that you get really comfortable with the combos and when it's okay to put an Otama on the board so that you know you can pick it up to get that extra 2K combo later, because that will be a huge play for this deck.
Yeah, always same thing for Makino, same thing for Brook. These are effects that you want to use, but you have to be able to pick them up. That's why it's green top heavy. I do like the idea of having something red playable if you do want to save like a Bonnie. Being able to pick the Bonnie up and playing the Zorro and not like, oh, I just wasted like a Vista effect. No, we have something that's actually gonna be defensively suitable. And I think it's good into the Odin Kinney Man matchup as well. You have a lot of things that tap it, but it's at 6K. You have to invest a lot into killing that guy now. So I think, it's just a good. I'm really into the Zorro. It's a good meta call. And you're absolutely right. Law requires an absolute great pilot to play. So if you're thinking about playing this for Set 1 Treasure Cup, because it's a very similar list. You're playing a little more Supernovas, maybe a little more Strahds, but it's very similar in play style. So get familiar with it. It's a leader that's not going to go away anytime soon.
Yeah, and this could be a spicy Treasure Cup deck if you play that starter deck Zoro, because I think people will also still get very caught off guard
Yeah,
and not know how to clear it from your board,
it's annoying, that's for sure.
for
And
sure.
and then the winner of the tournament, Zorro. We haven't seen Zorro in a while. He was still topping. He was still staying relevant. But like I said, Whitebeard had a much better showing last tournament. It was. It seems like in mirrors that Whitebeard has a slight edge. But I think this Zorro list, went back a little more to basics, and I think surprised a lot of players.
Yeah, it must have. I mean, there was more Zoros this tournament. Maybe Tokyo is just a more aggressive
Maybe,
meta.
maybe.
Uh, and the Whitebeard just couldn't keep up since it's losing life every turn. Maybe it just got overrun with a more aggressive playstyle. So it couldn't keep up in this prelim. Um, but when watching the final match, the Edward Newgate 9 drop just steamrolls this law deck, unfortunately. We were talking while prepping for this video, and we don't know what law does to get rid of this Edward Newgate. Um, Without going to such extreme things of trying to hit multiple Otamas or something. They're not playing the Gordon that the Zoro's playing, so you're not getting an additional 1K reduction from that. So it's really tough for that list to get over one of these. And I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, the Zoro ended up with 3 on board. I don't know what you do against that. I don't know what you do. Lose, apparently, unfortunately for Law, but
Yeah, I think we were seeing Zoros trending away from playing these larger drops. I think even in the Edward Nuke decks, they were trending away. They were playing they were playing Ace. I think Ace was like their highest drop, but he had Rush, and I can see that argument. So it was interesting to see the Edward Nuke one being played, but the fact that Zorro as well, I think the last tournament results might have hurt Law a little bit, because Law was used to playing a couple big drops. We were accustomed to seeing 1 or 2 8 drop kids in Law, just to give you a little defense against, at the time, Kid. So not having an answer for big drops, and if they could get to that point of the game, which, if we're looking at the boards, they're exactly similar, but Zorro has way more offensive pressure here. It seems like a very free Edward Newgate, right? So, and once one hits the board, it's it's lights out. There's nothing this Law, with 2 jet pistols as well, could really deal with Edward Newgate. That guy will just win you the game.
yeah. And looking at the Zoro list, it goes from 3 drops or lower to 4 9 drops. The deck's playing very quickly into turn 9, and then dropping Newgate, getting a 7k leader defensively, and then either attacking with that Edward Newgate and clearing out your opponent's 3Ks, which if you look at most of the red deck or most of the law deck, it's everything but 6 cards that it's clearing, I think, or 16 cards are it's
It's a lot.
clearing.
It's a lot.
Most of it.
The
Even
blockers,
in a mirror,
yeah.
it's clearing most of the mirror. So if you're getting to use his on attack effect, you're wiping the board while taking almost an definite life because he'll be 12k at that, or yeah, 12k at
12,
that
yeah.
point. Hard to play against, and I'm guessing that's a big factor to why it won.
Yeah, I mean, we this isn't a crazy Zorro list. When the Zorro lists were first coming out, this looks pretty similar. I think the counts and maybe some of the tech might be different. I think Magra is a little new. I really like it. I like the Gorgon list as well. I think it's a good substitute for Chopper Blocker. I don't know if it was completely necessary since where it's such a high speed game. So having these more immediate effects are, I think, ideal because Vista and Nico Robin just absolutely ruin Chopper. So I think that adaptation is very smart, but it is very, very similar to what we have seen. It's just a really good backwards adaptation playing that we're Newgate again, and we have to see it from Law, right? There has to be a response from Law players, and is it back to two 8-drop kids, or are we playing Whitebeard himself? Because that is an option for this Law deck, just dropping one or two Whitebeards in this list somewhere, and contesting with this original meta, I guess. This was definitely a more original set 2 meta.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing dropping something that's not a 5 drop into that law deck. But if you're gonna contest a Edward Newgate on the board, you have to either have your own or something that is comparable, like the 8 drop kid, which is close but not quite strong enough. At least with a couple Dawn, you can contest and try to attack into it. It's rough for Law. I'm guessing it's rough for a lot of decks, and that's why this deck is winning.
I think you hit the nail. You hit it correctly.
Yeah.
And I think Law has more room to adapt. They obviously have more colors, more cards, so we're obviously able to see more out of the Law. And I don't think this is the final version of Zorro either. There's a couple more tournaments still coming, so I'm definitely excited to see what the adaptations are. And it's nice to see different and a lot of different decks in the top as well. I think that
Yeah.
has been the big surprise in set 2, and maybe we're settling down in a little triangle meta with Law entering the playing field.
Yeah, I hope
Maybe.
so. I hope that I mean, I don't hope that it solidifies. I hope that it stays turbulent forever because it makes it more interesting to
Yeah.
watch and commentate on. But it is looking like Kinemon's constantly topping. It has to be considered S tier at this point. And at the numbers, it just isn't finishing those tournaments out. So we'll have to look deeper and see what's beating those Kinemons so easily that they're topping with great numbers and then not winning.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Interesting.
it's very interesting.
It's an adaptation, right? So if Law and Zoro are adaptating, maybe Kinemon doesn't have the room or space to do it, and so it's and in such quick time as well because these tournaments are coming back to back to back. So
Yeah,
it's interesting. Once we get hands on Kinemon, maybe we can make an assessment. So maybe soon.
yeah, soon.
Soon.
But yeah, that's all we have for Meta Monday this week. Thank you all for watching. If you've gotten this far, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. You're on YouTube, you know what to do. And until next time, have a good one. Later.
Bye bye, guys.